I can still feel the sting of the fluorescent lights at work, the way they buzzed like they were mocking me for staying late again. Everyone else clocked out hours ago. Me, I stayed, always grinding, always saving. Because I had a dream. Not some fancy dream of cars or houses, just one trip, one escape, one memory with the people I thought were my friends. I kept telling myself, this trip will prove I belong, this trip will make me part of them. Sarah, I remember whispering over the phone one night, exhaustion dripping from my voice. Imagine us on the beach. No alarms, no deadlines, just, her laugh spilled through the receiver like honey. God, yes, we need it. And honestly, you stir the only one making this happen. You stir amazing, you know that. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Do you really think so? Of course, she said quickly. Too quickly. Without you, we said never go. I let those words sit in me like medicine, but deep down, I wasn't curing myself. I was dosing the sickness. Because I didn't want to just fund the dream. I wanted to be needed for it. The night I transferred the money, my hands shook. I stared at the screen. Confirm payment. $5,622. It wasn't just digits. It was my savings. My weekends. My skipped meals. My silence when my boss forgot to pay overtime. And then, click. Confirmed. I exhaled, almost dizzy, like I had just jumped off a cliff. Done, I texted the group chat. Tickets paid, all set. Ethan replied first. You stir a lifesaver. Seriously, you stir a legend. I grinned at the screen like an idiot. Sarah added a row of heart emojis. Couldn't ask for a better friend. Those little hearts. God, they were enough to make me feel chosen. I told myself, see, you matter, you're not the extra, you're not the backup. They'll never leave you behind now. That weekend we met at Sarah Sepp's place to plan. Her apartment smelled of vanilla candles and cheap wine. Okay, she clapped her hands. We saw her officially booked, thanks to our angel here. They all turned to me, clapping, smiling, like I was some hero. But Ethan leaned in, flashing that grin that always made people forgive him too easily. Seriously though, you just dropped all that cash, you trust us that much. His tone made me freeze. Why would I asked, forcing a laugh. Relax, Sarah said, shooting him a look. She knows we star good for it. But he smirked. Do we though? That joke, it lodged in me like a splinter. Did he mean it? Was he testing me? Or was it just Ethan being Ethan, reckless and charming and cruel without trying? I swallowed my doubt. I just wanted to make sure we actually go this time. We've been talking about it for years. Sarah softened. And now we are, because of you. God, you don't even know how much this means. Her eyes sparkled when she said it, and like a fool, I believed her. Later, while they argued about hotels versus hostels, I slipped into the kitchen for water. My phone buzzed. A message from Ethan. Private, not in the group chat. You didn't have to do all that, you know. They still never pay you back. My heart punched against my ribs. I stared at the screen, fingers frozen. Then another ping. But hey, at least you bought yourself a ticket into the group, right? I laughed out loud, too loudly, pretended it was a joke, but inside his words hit the exact place I was trying to hide. Because that was the truth, was instead it. I was instead paying for the trip. I was paying for acceptance. That night, lying in bed, I replayed their voices. Sarah's sugary tone, Ethan's smirk, the way they clapped for me like I was a convenient machine that printed tickets instead of money. I told myself, no, they love you. This trip will prove it, you'll see, you'll finally belong. I wanted to believe it so badly. But as I closed my eyes, Ethan's words wouldn't leave. They'll never pay you back. And deep down, maybe I already knew, this dream I paid for was the beginning of a nightmare I couldn't escape. It started small, little cracks I told myself weren't cracks at all. Okay, so what's our itinerary? I asked one evening, my laptop glowing with spreadsheets and tabs of travel blogs. Sarah laughed so hard she nearly spilled her wine. Oh my God, listen to you. Itinerary? Ethan leaned back in his chair, smirk stretching like it owned the room. She's planning like it's a business trip. Next you Sal's hand us name tags. The others burst into laughter. I forced a smile. I just don't want us scrambling last minute. Flights, hotels, activities, it adds up. Sarah shook her head, still giggling. Relax. Seriously. You self ruin the fun if you stress like this. They called it stress. I called it making sure we weren't set stranded. Okay, I said softly. Fine. I still chill. But inside the words burned. Later, while scrolling through my banking app, I cleared my throat. So, about the hotel booking. I already paid up front. Could we maybe settle that soon? Just so I set not carrying it all. Ethan whistled low. There it is, the money talk. The group chuckled. I clenched my fists under the table. I set not saying it space a big deal. I just. He cut me off with that lazy grin. We shall settle it later. Don't set worry. The way he said it, so casual, so dismissive, made everyone nod like sheep. Sarah patted my hand. See? Later. Stop overthinking. That word again. Overthinking, like caring too much, was a disease only I carried. But that night, as I scrolled through our group chat, my stomach dropped. New messages. A whole thread of plans. Without me. Sarah, we should book the snorkeling tour tomorrow before prices rise. Ethan. Yeah. Let Stitch just do it. Don't Stit tell her yet, she stest will make a spreadsheet. Laughing emojis. They were talking about me, not with me, about me. The next day, I confronted Sarah quietly while we walked back from work. Hey, I saw the chat. Why didn't you guys tell me? She blinked, caught, then smiled too brightly. Oh God? That? It was nothing serious, just random ideas. Then why hide it? Because you get intense. We wanted to surprise you. Surprise me? My voice cracked, or cut me out. Her smile faltered. Don't be dramatic. Dramatic, overthinking, stressed. Every word they used chipped away at me, until I didn't know if I was too much or just not enough. At our next meetup, Ethan slapped my back. All right, Miss Treasurer. What sips next on the agenda? Do we need receipts signed in blood? The table laughed again. I bit my tongue so hard it almost bled. Just making sure everything SEP's covered. That SEP's all. Relax, he said, smirking. We start not going to run off without you. Funny, looking back, that's exactly what they were planning. Anyway, Sarah cut in quickly. I was thinking maybe we should do the beach villa instead of the budget hotel. It'd still be more fun. I hesitated. That SEP's more expensive. So what? Ethan said. You've got it handled, right? The way he said it wasn't a question, it was a statement. Everyone nodded along, eyes sliding past me. That night, I called Sarah directly. Am I being used here? I whispered. She gasped. What? Of course not. How could you even think that? Because I already paid thousands, because nobody SEP's paying me back, because I SEP's planning everything and all I get is jokes. She sighed, exasperated. You stir making this ugly. This is supposed to be fun. I some just asking for fairness. And I some saying chill, please. Or you ruin it for everyone. Click, she hung up. Her words echoed in the silence. Ruin it for everyone. Like I was the problem. Like my loyalty was the flaw. The group chat buzzed again. Ethan Sheep's freaking out again. Told you. Sarah, don't worry. I'll handle her. Laughing emojis. Handle me, like I was a burden. A liability, not a friend. I stared at the screen, heart pounding. I wanted to scream, to confront them all, to demand the respect I deserved. But instead I typed, got it. Thanks for sorting things. Concept wait for the trip. Sent it with a smiley face. I convinced myself it was nothing, that they loved me, that no one would betray me. Because the truth was too heavy to carry. The truth that maybe Ethan was right. Maybe I really had just bought my way in. The morning of the trip, I woke up before my alarm. My suitcase sat by the door like a loyal dog waiting to be let out. Passport in my jacket pocket. Phone fully charged. I grinned at my reflection. This is it. This is finally it. I opened our group chat. Silence. No texts. No updates. My fingers hovered. Hey guys, when should I head to the airport? I typed it, deleted it, typed again, sent. Minutes passed. Nothing. Something cold crept into my chest. I grabbed my suitcase and ran. Taxi. Airport. My pulse racing louder than the traffic. Inside, the smell of burnt coffee and perfume mixed with the screech of rolling suitcases. I scanned the check-in counters and froze. There they were, Sarah, Ethan, the others, laughing, checking bags. Without me. Sarah, I shouted, my voice cracking. Her head snapped toward me. For a split second, her eyes widened. But then Ethan leaned close, whispering something sharp. Dawn set, make a scene. Just keep walking. I saw his lips form the words. Sarah's gaze met mine again, then she turned away. Like I was no one. The sound of my suitcase wheels rattling behind me felt louder than the entire airport. I pushed through the line. What the hell is this? You weren't set answering. Ethan Sepp's smirk didn't step falter. Oh, you made it. Thought you Sept overslept. My throat closed. I paid for everything. Why didn't Set you tell me? He tilted his head. We figured, maybe you Sept stress less if we handled it. Handled it? By leaving me out. Sarah stepped forward, voice soft but sharp around the edges. Please, not here. People are staring. Not sorry, not explain, just don't Set embarrass us. Sarah, I whispered, you promised, you said this trip was ours. Her lips parted but no words came. She just looked at me like she wanted to but couldn't. Ethan scoffed. Look, the plane Sep's boarding. Dawn Set hold us up. I grabbed Sarah Sip's arm. Say something, please. Her eyes shimmered for a moment, guilt flickering like a dying flame. And then she pulled away. I said I'm sorry, she muttered, barely audible. Then she turned her back. That was it. 1 second of eye contact. One half-hearted sorry, then nothing. The gate attendant called, Flight 827 now boarding. They moved as one, tickets out, bags rolling. And me standing there, suitcase heavy at my side, breath choking in my chest. I stepped forward. Wait, my name should be on the reservation. I booked it. The attendant frowned at my passport, tapped at the screen. I son sorry, Mastam. This ticket isn't set valid. What? That SIP's impossible. I paid for it. She shook her head. It shows cancelled. Cancelled. My own ticket. Gone. While theirs scanned green. Perfect. Valid. I turned just in time to see Ethan glance back at me. He leaned into Sarah Sip's ear, chuckling. She Sep's still standing there. My stomach lurched. They didn't Set even hide it. I stumbled forward. Sarah, please, just tell me why. She froze for half a heartbeat, then the security gate beeped, and she stepped through. Gone. That was the moment something inside me snapped. I stood there long after they vanished into the terminal. People brushed past me, families, couples, tourists with smiles and neck pillows. And me? I was invisible, betrayed. I pressed my palm against my chest, as if I could hold the pieces together. But they were gone. Just like my so-called friends. The attendant cleared her throat. Ma Suppin, do you need assistance? I shook my head. No, I just need to breathe. But breathing felt impossible. I paid for everything. The plane was boarding, and I was left behind. That was the exact moment Sarah, Ethan, all of them, killed the version of me that begged to belong. What rose in her place would make them regret ever leaving me. I didn't Set cry. Not at first. I just stood outside the terminal doors, suitcase at my feet, watching the river of people thin out. Families reuniting, lovers hugging, travelers rushing past with purpose. And me empty. The air reeked of jet fuel and stale coffee. My chest felt hollow like someone had scooped me out from the inside. Hours passed. My legs ached. My throat burned. And then, the tears came. Not soft, pretty tears. Ugly, heaving sobs. The kind you can't swallow back. The kind that make strangers glance, then look away with pity. A woman walked past with her little boy. I caught the boy's stare, wide-eyed, curious. His mother tugged him away quickly. Like I was contagious. They didn't just abandon me, they erased me, and I let them. I couldn't go home. Not yet. Home would mean silence, questions, explanations I wasn't ready to give. So I dragged myself to the airport cafe. The hum of machines, the hiss of milk steamers, the clink of cups. I sat in the corner, my suitcase pulled tight against me like armor. My phone buzzed. For one stupid second, my heart leapt. Maybe they realized. Maybe Sarah's apologizing. I opened it. A photo. Them on the plane, drinks in hand, laughing, middle fingers raised to the camera. Caption: Bon voyage. My chest collapsed. I whispered out loud, to no one. They wanted me to see this. The barista glanced over. I turned my face away. They wanted me broken. And it worked. For days, I disappeared. I didn't go to work, didn't answer calls, didn't eat more than stale bread and coffee. The world blurred into background noise. My phone lit up with coworkers' self messages. Everything okay? Where are you? Delete. Ignore. The only thing I opened was that photo. Again and again. Them laughing. Them celebrating my absence. Every time I stared at it, the sobs came harder. One night, hunched over in bed, I whispered to the dark. Why was instead I enough? The silence answered. I dug my nails into my palms. I gave them everything. Every dollar. Every ounce of loyalty. My voice broke. And they left me like trash. But silence does something. At first, it feels like drowning. Then it starts to sharpen you. The crying slowed, my throat still raw, my eyes swollen, but the sobs turned to breaths, heavy, measured. And somewhere between those breaths, something inside me shifted. The photo buzzed in my mind, their smirks, their hands raised in mockery. I clenched my phone until my knuckles ached. No more tears, I whispered. I stood looking at my reflection in the cafe window. Red eyes, hollow cheeks, broken. But under the ruin, something harder gleamed back at me. Rage. They thought they'd broken me. But what they really did was build the weapon I was about to become. For days I asked the wrong question. Why me? It gnawed at me like a parasite, but then something shifted. I stopped asking why me. And I started asking, what now? I sat at my desk, laptop open, coffee gone cold, my cursor blinked against the screen like it was daring me. I still had access. The group booking accounts, the travel agency emails, every receipt, every confirmation, because I was the one who arranged it all. Their little paradise wasn't as secure as they thought. I dialed the hotel. Hi, this is Sarah Collins. I need to cancel our group reservation. Yes, the one under my account. Family emergency. Click. Done. The satisfaction burned slow and cold. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't throw things. I just pressed delete on their comfort. But hotels weren't set enough. Not for what they did. I leaned back, scrolling through my files. Ethan. God, Ethan. His smirk haunted me. But so did his secret. Because he wasn't just charming, he was cheating on Maya. And Maya? She trusted me more than she ever trusted him. I pulled up my messages, hesitated, then typed, Hey Maya, you free to talk? It's Steps about Ethan. Her reply came fast. Always. What's Steps going on? We met at a quiet cafe near her place. She smiled when she saw me, then frowned when she caught the look on my face. Okay, what's wrong? She asked, sliding into the booth. I gripped my phone, my voice low. Maya, he Sep's not who you think he is. Her brow furrowed. Ethan. Yes. I unlocked my screen, handed her the messages. These are from him, to another girl. While he was with you. She scrolled, her hands trembling. Are you sure these are real? I wish they weren't stit. Her silence stretched. That silence was the sound of a heart breaking, and for once it wasn't mine. Finally she looked up, eyes glassy. He told me I was paranoid, that I was imagining things. I leaned closer. You weren't set. He lied, and you deserve to know. She shut her eyes, whispering, Thank you. No one else would Stev told me. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't just shatter you, it creates allies in the wreckage. Next, Sarah. Sarah, who always played the angel, sweet Sarah, who handled me like I was a child. But I had something on her too. Receipts, literal ones, money she borrowed from friends, promises she never paid back. screenshots, transfers, names. I opened the folder on my computer, every file labeled, every lie preserved. One message away from exposure. I practiced the words under my breath. You think you are untouchable, Sarah, but masks don't fit last forever. The thought made me smile, just slightly. Maya texted me later that night. I confronted him, he denied it. Then I showed him the screenshots. He seeps furious at you. I typed back fast. Let him be, he deserves worse. Her reply was almost instant. Tell me what to do. I want to help. And just like that, I wasn't stepped alone anymore. I stared at my reflection in the dark window, my phone glowing in my hand. I whispered. They thought I sipped big dead to be let back in, but I sipped not screaming, I sipped not crying, I sipped not begging. I pressed my palm against the glass, steady, unshaking. I supped them going to make sure their masks fall, and when they do, everyone will see what I saw. I wasn't their backup anymore, I was their reckoning. Piece by piece, I was stacking the truth like weapons. And soon, I won fire every single one. Maya sat across from me, eyes locked on the phone in my hand. Are you sure you want to see this? I asked quietly. She nodded, jaw tight. Show me. I slid the phone across the table. Photos, texts, Ethan's promises of forever to her sent while he was busy chasing someone else. Her face went pale, then red, her hands shook as she scrolled. This is him? She whispered. Yes. Her voice cracked. All those nights he said he was studying, all those times he told me to trust him. He was lying. I didn't comfort her, I didn't soften the truth. She needed to feel it raw, the same way I had felt their betrayal. Maya's eyes filled with tears, but her expression hardened. I want him to pay. I leaned forward, lowering my voice. Then help me. Bear sets a party tomorrow. His parents are throwing it. He thinks he sets walking into applause. She gripped the edge of the table. And instead? I smirked. He said'll walk into judgment. The next evening, I watched the golden lights spill from Ethan's family home. Cars lined the street. Laughter floated into the night. Inside, everything gleamed. Balloons, champagne, the smell of catered food. His parents beamed, waiting for their star to walk in. I blended into the corner, a drink in my hand, unseen. Then Ethan entered. Tan from the trip, grinning like a god returning from Olympus. The room erupted. Cheers, clapping, cameras flashing. He spread his arms wide. Miss me. Maya stepped forward from the crowd, holding a bouquet. For a moment I thought she'd falter. But she did instead. She hurled the flowers at his chest. The room fell silent. What the hell, Maya? Ethan barked, still smiling, trying to play it off. Her voice shook, but it was loud. You think you can lie to me? To everyone. Confusion rippled through the crowd. His mother frowned. Maya, what's going on? Maya pulled out her phone, her hands steady now. Why don't you all see who Ethan really is? She cast the images onto the TV with a single tap. Ethan's own words filled the screen. Screenshots of his texts, photos he'd sent late at night, messages dripping with lust for another girl. The silence turned to gasps. The golden boy was cracking. Wait, this isn't real. Someone's framing me, Ethan shouted, panic in his voice. Maya Sep's laugh was sharp, bitter. You sent these, Ethan. I have every timestamp, every call log, done set, even try to twist it. His father stepped forward, face hard. Ethan, is this true? Dad, come on. Sep's just a joke. Sep's exaggerating. But his mother shook her head, her voice low. You humiliated her. You humiliated us. The whispers spread like wildfire. Guests shook their heads. Phones came out. Cameras clicked. And Ethan's smile, his perfect practice smile, finally broke. He turned, eyes darting through the crowd, desperate. Who gave you this? He yelled at Maya. Who put you up to this? Maya didn't answer. She didn't need to. Because I was standing quietly in the back. Invisible. Untouchable. I took a slow sip of my drink, the fizz cold on my tongue. That was the moment I'd been waiting for, not screaming, not revenge with blood or fists. Just truth. Truth so loud it shattered him from the inside out. Ethan's parents turned away, ashamed. His friends avoided his eyes. Maya stood taller than I'd ever seen her. Fire in her gaze. He had no stage left to stand on. No spotlight. Only shadows. I slipped out before anyone noticed me. The night air hit my face, cool, cleansing. Behind me, chaos erupted. Voices raised. Reputations burned. And me? I didn't stet need credit. I didn't stet need thanks. I just needed this. I'd watched them leave me behind once. Now I'd watched Ethan fall. Piece by piece, I was dismantling the empire they built on lies. And the best part, I wasn't instead even finished. Sarah tried to be perfect. Even after Ethan fell, she stepped in, pretending to be the loyal friend. "Oh, Ethan, ignore it. You're imagining things," she whispered when he called her from the chaos of his parents' house. She smiled at everyone else. The flawless, caring friend, the one who had it all together. I watched, and I waited. I didn't rush. I didn't panic. I didn't even smile, because Sarah had built her empire on lies, and it was time for them to collapse. I slid my phone across the table at home. Opened the group chat. Anonymous. The first screenshot, her messages to friends about money she'd borrowed and never paid back. The second, her mocking texts about people she called stupid or boring. The third, my favorite, her own confession. Using her for free trips, she seemed so gullible. Within minutes, the reactions exploded. Friend 1. Wait, Sarah, is this true? Friend 2. You what? Friend 3. I can stet believe you lied to all of us. The little kingdom she built of admiration and trust? Gone. Every emoji, every shocked reaction, every furious reply, stacked against her like bricks. I leaned back, hands folded, silent, watching. Her phone rang almost immediately. Unknown number. Please, please stop. Who is this? I stayed silent. Why are you doing this? Sarah, I can explain. I muted the call. She didn't deserve my voice. She didn't deserve an answer. The group chat kept buzzing. Friend 4. You stole from people? Friend 5. And you mocked everyone behind their backs? All this time. Friend 6. I trusted you. I imagined her sitting alone in her room, her hair tangled, her face streaked with tears, her empire crumbling. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilt. Only clarity. They left me at the airport like trash. Now I was taking back what was mine. Dignity, respect, power. Her text started pouring in. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Please forgive me. I didn't reply. Minutes turned to hours. She called again, voice breaking. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Silence. I scrolled through the chat. Each reply another hammer on her carefully crafted image. She lied about everything. She seems fake. She only cares about herself. Her friends, once enchanted by her charm, now recoiled. And I just watched the fall, knowing it was inevitable. Later I saw her in the corner of a coffee shop. Alone, phone in hand, crying so hard she couldn't even lift her head. I sat across from her, invisible. Not to comfort, not to gloat, just to witness. She used me, I whispered under my breath. She left me behind. Her sobs filled the space between us. She called again, shaking, desperate. Please, I'll do anything. I still pay back the money. I still apologize publicly. Just stop this. I didn't answer. It wasn't about punishment anymore. Not really. It was about truth, justice, balance. The same truth they denied me. The group chat kept buzzing for hours. Friends she once mocked publicly defended me silently in their own messages. Friend 7. She never respected anyone. Friend 8. I can believe we defended her all this time. Friend 9. Finally the mask is gone. Sarah had everything she wanted. Admiration, power, control. Until she didn't I went home that night, phone in hand, scrolling one last time. Her messages were frantic. Apologies, confessions, please. None of it mattered. I hadn't needed to shout. I hadn't needed to fight. I would just shown the truth. And that was enough. Next morning I checked the chat again. Sarah had blocked the number, tried to disappear, tried to rebuild. But trust isn't given back. Reputation isn't repaired with apologies. I was silent, watching the ripple of her fall. And for the first time since the airport, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Power. Piece by piece, I was taking back what they stole, and nothing could touch me. The group fractured. I could feel it before anyone said a word. Ethan avoided everyone like a plague. His charm, his golden boy aura, gone. Just a shadow lurking in corners, eyes darting, hoping no one noticed. Sarah? She became a pariah overnight. People whispered, rolled their eyes, stared at their phones when she tried to text. Every little lie she'd told came crawling out, and everyone saw it. The others, the so-called friends, looked at me differently now. Not admiration, not envy, just guilt. And then they reached out. Texts, calls, invitations, smiles that didn't touch their eyes. Can we talk? I said, I'm sorry for everything. Maybe we can hang out again? I read each one, a flicker of the old me rising, the girl who wanted to be liked, wanted to belong. And then I laughed. No, I whispered. Not this time. I realized revenge wasn't about forcing them to like me again. It wasn't about proving I was right or making them apologize. It was about reclaiming myself. I went through my phone, their numbers, their messages, their attempts at reconciliation. Delete, block, gone. I didn't pause. I didn't hesitate. Every tap was deliberate, every click a reminder that I controlled my life now. They had left me behind once, but now, I was leaving them forever. I checked my accounts. The money they still owed me from the trip? Still there, untouched. Waiting. I booked a solo flight. No plans, no group, just me and the sky. I packed my bags slowly, deliberately, savoring the act of reclaiming control. At the airport, I waited at the gate. People rushed past, lives colliding in chaos. I pulled out my phone, put on my headphones, and let the hum of the crowd fade into background noise. The plane arrived. I stepped inside, my suitcase rolling smoothly behind me. I found my seat by the window. The engines roared. The plane lifted. I watched the world shrink beneath me. Cities, roads, the chaos of people's lives. And for the first time in months, I felt lighter. I didn't need validation from them. I didn't need approval. I didn't need their lies or their apologies. I had my dignity, my respect, my power, and it was enough. I sipped my drink, headphones on, music drowning out the chatter around me. The clouds stretched endlessly. I pressed my forehead to the glass, feeling the vibration of the engines in my bones. Freedom tasted like air at 30,000 feet. Texts came in from unknown numbers, more attempts at reconciliation. I ignored them, because nothing they could say mattered anymore. The group had taught me what it meant to be invisible. But the lesson I took with me was far more important. I was instead invisible. I was unstoppable. I smiled at the horizon, sun reflecting off clouds like molten gold. The girl who cried at the airport, the girl they left behind. She was gone. In her place, someone stronger had taken flight. The plane tilted, banking over the city lights below. I let my thoughts drift. The betrayal, the humiliation, the tears, all of it. All of it stayed behind on the tarmac, shrinking with the lights below. Goodbye, I whispered softly. The seatbelt sign clicked off. The hum of the plane was steady, comforting. I leaned back, eyes on the clouds, and let a slow, deep breath fill my lungs. I didn't feel empty anymore. I didn't feel hollow. I felt free. They left me behind once. Now I had left them forever. I didn't stet need them. I didn't stet want them. And for the first time, I didn't even care what they thought. Because the only person I had to impress was myself. And that was enough.